Hi, I'm Susie Ling with the Chinese Historical Society of Southern California. On August 10th of 2026, we were so fortunate to have Dr. Selia Tan come from Guangdong to give a series of lectures that she called Echoes Across the Ocean. These lectures were about the impact of Chinese American pioneers from the 19th and early 20th centuries on their home villages in Kaiping and Taisan, in the area then called Selia, now called Jiangmen. This lecture is introduced by Irene Lam of the Blue Tile Heritage Foundation. Unfortunately, the lecture was cut, the video of it was cut at 58 minutes, lost about 10 minutes, and captured the last 10 minutes. I still think it's worth a view. The lecture was co-sponsored by the Chinese Historical Society and the Chinese Family History Group here in Southern California, and was taped at the Chinatown Branch Library of Los Angeles. One thing of note, Chinese called grade 7 through grade 12 zhongxue, which literally translates as middle school. Of course, we know it as high school. Enjoy the presentation.
So a few days ago, I was talking with Selia about this event, and she said, "Oh, it's very difficult to prepare for." And I said, "Well, why is that? Is it because you're so busy, or some other reason?" And she said, "Because there's so much I want to tell people." And I feel the same about introducing Selia. There's so much that could be said about her, but she holds a PhD in architecture from Hong Kong University. She's a recognized authority on overseas Chinese history, cultural conservation, and route searching. She served as lead researcher for the Kaiping Fortress Mansion's designation as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And she leads joint research with the Stanford Archaeology Center. She has lectured at top universities worldwide and authored 7 books, ranging from the transnational lives of the Chinese railroad workers to her latest book on the architecture of Chinatowns. But what I really want to tell you about Selia is that she has such a profound knowledge of Cantonese and Lingnan culture. And she has a very deep respect for the dignity of ordinary people and their places. She has an unwavering standard to authentic conservation. And she also has a very fierce care that Chinese and overseas Chinese awaken to a cultural confidence and a pride in their heritage. She loves to teach children and really everyone who wants to learn. I think that being a living bridge between overseas Chinese and their ancestral homeland is just who she is. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to Professor Selia Tan.
I feel always honored and so warm to be here. 24 years ago, when I first stepped into California, it was the Chinese Historical Society of Southern California who received me. Thank you, Eugene. At that time, that was Saigon. So when I walk in the Historical Society, and because he looks black, I said, "I'm looking for Saigon." And he said, "Oh, I'm Saigon." Oh, he doesn't look like Chinese, right? but he said, "Oh, Chinese blood is running in my body." So this is, this impressed me a lot, and from then on, that's 2002, till now, I spend all my time to do research projects on in our local Wuyi area and also the overseas Chinese. So today I'm going to share with you my research. Can you turn it on? Today I'm going to talk about three parts, three themes. One is about Chinatown, the other is our hometown, and then the one is heritage. So, okay, come down. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, as Irene mentioned just now, I have so much to share with you. So this PPT is 200 slides. So I may go fast, but I just want you to see more, in pictures. So these are the three topics. One is my understanding of Chinatown, and then the homeland, and then the heritage. So this is where most overseas Chinese here are from, except the Wuyi area. We call 5 counties: Kaiping, Yanping, Wuyi, Toisan, and Hokshan. You know why Hokshan was not included before? Because we always call our Selia, not Yap, because Hokshan, many people from Hokshan were Hakka. And back in 150 years ago, Hakka was not, had a fight against the local people. So that's why, when they went overseas, they did not want to include Hakka together. So this is a map of China. So the red one is map of Guangdong province, and this is map of Guangdong province. And the yellow area is we call the Pearl River Delta. So right now we call this the Greater Bay Area. Greater Bay Area is this 9 cities, including Macau and Hong Kong. So this is where we are. And Seiyap, this is, Seiyap is 4. So today I'm going to talk, my first topic is building a home that wasn't quite foreign. So this, I'm going to talk about 3 topics, 3 contents, and the architecture of the association buildings, and also the ornamentation and 3 stories. So for me, because I spend a lot of time in Chinatown, in LA Chinatown, and also San Francisco Chinatown. So for me, Chinatown is more than a roof. The association buildings at Chinatown's moral campus. When I come here, many people will say, oh, we have so many Chinatowns. When you go to New York, people tell you, oh, we have many Chinatowns, new Chinatowns. So many people would think, like, any Chinese settlements would be Chinatown, right? But no. So Chinatown, in the translation, 唐人街, Tong Yan Gai is now been, and for some newer generations, journalists, they right now publish their articles, 中國城, right? So they use China City. So I just want to focus or want to pay more attention of the translation of Chinatown. Tong Yan Gai. Tong Yan, it's people from the Tong dynasty. our forefathers, so many of them used to live in this kind of association buildings. That's their home, that's their hope. So, so this actually, this kind of associations, they follow the tradition, the China's tradition to construct, to build the association buildings when they go out. It is not their creation. It's actually our tradition. So this is actually the biggest association buildings, in China. For example, like Guangdong people, when you travel to Shanghai, when you travel to Beijing, so you build a business association, of Guangdong, for Guangdong people in Beijing. So that's the tradition. So our forefathers actually follow this tradition to come in. When they come here, they build associations. For example, we have association for like 三一公所 or 三一會館, and also we have this clan association, for the last name. For example, I just want to take this, the Yi Feng Tui, Yi Feng Tui Hong, Yi Feng Tui Clan Association. So this kind of association is actually from the hometown tradition of ancestral halls, because in here all Yi people, you are from the same clan, so you come here, to pay respect for your common ancestor. So this is the idea to build this kind of Selim clan associations. And actually, these people back when they live in their hometown, this is you will see this is a traditional 700-year-old village back in the hometown. So you will see the feng shui setting of a village. Now, feng shui setting, so you see the god of village god and temple, outside a village compound. So you see gods, temple, different kinds of gods, protect you. And then inside the second layer, so there's a shrine and a sexual hall, those they're not gods, they are your ancestors. So this would come, protect you, and then that's the second layer. And then you come into the village, then you have your house. And when you enter the house, you have also other layers of protection. So, in their mind, they have many different layers of protection when you enter their world. So when they come to San Francisco Chinatown, the first Chinatown, so they have temples, they have churches together. So here you will see, sorry, you see the San Francisco Chinatown map. This map comes from 1885 map. So you see how they plan the association buildings. This is a very huge feng shui setting. So they don't just put, for example, like this building here and that here casually. They actually have a logic to do this. So you see the Zhonghua Wuyi, that one. That's right in the middle at the back of Chinatown. So he's there oversee the whole Chinatown. That's the highest status. Oh, I'm not going to talk too much about feng shui. I just want to remind you that all the buildings here and the settings are not just to be here. They actually have a logic. For example, like this, For those who have been to San Francisco, Chinatown, you know that these two buildings were the first two buildings built after the 1906 earthquake, right? So I remember when I talked to people from San Francisco, they said, oh, those people don't know Chinese architecture. They just put pagodas on top. You know, they don't know that pagodas in China is actually an element of feng shui. So because of this, I started to study the feng shui, the buildings, you know, the feng shui buildings in Chinatown, in San Francisco, Chinatown. So I figured out that, so for example, like this one, it's 7th floor, you know, 7th floor. So actually, we call this 七星, the two dragons here, they have 7, 8, 8, this. You know, this is, in China, we have this 叫風水陣. So it's 雙龍戲珠七星八卦陣. So that's the feng shui setting. So they use this feng shui setting because back in 1906, a lot of people died at the fire, right? So lots of spirits. And when they first built this building, so they need to have something to comfort the spirits. So this is 鎮魂. It's to, you know, to comfort the restless spirits, and it's in the corner of a street. So the building next to Xing Chong is Xing Fa. So it is 9-story. That one is 9-story. So in Chinese name, you know, because every Chinese feng shui setting will have a name. We call this 九九歸一, 9 nines return to be one. So, which means because that a lot of people died at the fire, so we come back here to build the new Chinatown, to build the buildings, which means we want to have a new life. So 所以叫重生. So this is the setting. So when I talked to a feng shui master, he said, you look at the building, you know, on top, you see a pool, you know, to welcome rains. Then you see from this picture, they did have a pool in the middle of the. I didn't know that. You know, the feng shui master, he's in China. He doesn't know that this building was in the U.S. and he just say, because this is the rule of feng shui. Okay, for here, Los Angeles, Chinatown. So this is very beautiful. We call this 文塔文昌閣. It's a Wenchang pagoda. So usually this kind of 文昌閣, so it's symbolizing the flourishing of scholars and future talents. So while you're here, you're so, the descendants of the Chinese, you produce so many scholars and professionals. So that's this kind of feng shui setting. And that one, the red wall, you see the two 八卦 windows, 八卦. So all these they have a symbol and also they have a reason. Okay, I just take some examples to say that this is 中華會館 in San Francisco. So because that's the highest status administration in Chinatown or in Chinese community. So you see this, the dragon with 5 claws, which means that's the highest. Usually from the like common people's home, we can only allow to use 4. you know, 4爪金龍, not 5爪金龍. So that's, you know, that even though they are here, they build the new buildings here overseas, but they still obey this kind of feng shui principles. And here, you know, you see all this palace style because it's supposed to be the highest status of the buildings. And the school building next to the Chinese Zhonghua Weibun is the Zhonghua Hao, no, the school. So they have two fish, 鱷魚, our fish. So which means they, yeah, you know, they have a lot of talents and everyone is good and take number one. So, but you will see, you know, this is the entrance to the building. So you see these two columns. On top of the columns, you see this. This is a Chinese dongong. You know, so this kind of motifs means social status. So this is Qiulun Gongshao in San Francisco. So you see this, they moved from Oakland to San Francisco quite late. So they bought this building and they remodel, you know, renovate the facade of the building to be a family association. So you see this? You see this? What's this? What's this? This is longevity. And this money, right? So what they need, they want longevity. They want money. You know, if you go back to China, you go back to your home, you know, usually when they go back to build a new house, then they would have double happiness because they're going to get married there. But here they have no way to get married because of the Chinese Exclusion Act. Okay, so here I want to talk about 3 stories about our people. This is story number 1, Wong Kim Up. You know, he's the first person who, you know, he was born in the United States and he went back to Toisan for, you know, for visit. And then when he returned, he was, you know, rejected because people said, oh, your parents are from China. Your parents are not U.S. Citizens, so you are not U.S. citizens. You know, you are not allowed to get in. And he said, I am, because I was born here. So I was born in the United States. Why I am not a citizen? So he sued the government, you know, and then he won. So from him, he started this. So right now we have this law and refresh, you know, this law that the, you know, anyone who are born in the United States would be a citizen. So from him, so that's his contribution to this country. Story number 2 is Ding Long and Harris Carpentier. So this is a Chinese cook or Chinese servant. So his name is Ding Long. So I just want to show you that a very small story. So he's a master. Horace Carpentier is very bad temper. Yeah. So once he scolded him and said, "Oh, you go. I don't want you." But next morning, you know, Ding Long was still there, and served him breakfast. And he felt so sorry, and asked Ding Long why. And Ding Long said, although you do have a bad temper, I think you are a good person after all. Confucius said that once you follow someone, you should do your own duty to him. So I didn't go. So from here, I just want to show you that the Chinatown people, you know, the earlier generation of Chinese, they brought with them their beliefs of Confucius to this country. Okay, So when the master asked him, he's going to retire, and what are you going to do? And what do you want? He said, I want to donate money to Columbia University to have somewhere for people to study Chinese, because many people don't know China, they don't know our people, and that's why there's discrimination of Chinese. So if we had a place for people to study Chinese, then there wouldn't be that much discrimination. So that's him, Ding Long. So this is Professor Paul Ederer from Columbia University. So I really love this his statement. So I want to share with you. He said, Ding Long is now a scholar, now a general, now an important figure. He is just one of many first-generation Chinese immigrants in the United States. He donated money, but more importantly, contributed his vision and ideas. The point of our existence as a body is to build our own way of understanding and dialogue in today's world of conflict and confrontation. So we need to recognize and reward such a vision, and at the same time, recognize and reward such an individual. Affirm his contribution and let the world know and remember the name of Ding Long. Okay, the third story I want to share with you is Chen Wing Chen. So he's the first person who studied the Chinese philosophy. So he did his PhD in Harvard University. So at the very beginning, people laughed at him. You Chinese, do you have philosophy in China? So he thought it's a shame. People ask him about that. So he said he is going to study the history of Chinese philosophy and also translated all the works so that people in the world, the English people, can understand the Chinese philosophy. So he's the first person to promote Chinese philosophy to the world. My conclusion for this chapter is Tongyangai. Tongyangai is a sediment of time pressed onto one small community. It is the dignity that place fought to give 100 years ago. So this is my understanding of Chinatown. So I never want to translate it into a Zhongguosen, a Chinese city. Okay, so that's my understanding of Chinatown and our people. So they come here 100 years ago. My great-great-great-grandfather, he went to Canada, did the same. He was a laundryman. So these people, they are engaged in very humble jobs, but all of them have a great, very great vision or duty to his family. So here I'm going to talk to you about how these people build their dreams in the homeland area. This is the painting, the frescoes painted on walls, in Selia. So this is in Chinatown. So you see, that's their dream of a modern society. So this one was built, was made in 1920s. So in 1920s, because they came through Hong Kong. So this is like a dream of a modern Hong Kong, and they wanted to have this in their hometown. So because they built aeroplanes, they built railroads. So these are all their dreams. We have I have many photos like this, to show their dreams. So, for my understanding, it's not just to build a home for your country, for your family. It is to build a new nation. Their dream is much, much bigger than a house or than a home. This is Toy San, so his name is Kong Ki Jiu. He's the first person commissioned by the Qing government because he's very good at English. His English is so good. So he was commissioned to be the English teacher of the Chinese mission, students sent by the Qing government to the United States. So he was the teacher. He published his the first English and Chinese dictionary in 1868 in Hong Kong. So he's the first Chinese who do this. And then in 1881, when he was in Young University, so he was invited by the university to do another dictionary for Americans. So he's very good at English, so that he can understand the the perspective of the white people. So, and he recognized that Chinese people, we never like to have wars. So wealth and power do not spring from reports, but from universal education. So that's very Chinese understanding and very Chinese, in China, every family would pay great attention to their children's education. So education is the utmost, in a Chinese family. So, but this, so he went back to China to study a Guangbao, a newspaper, to spread his idea of the social reform. So, how to do this social reform in the hometown? So I just want to show you. So this is also a decoration, but you see, it's a group. It's a group, right? So the overseas Chinese people, they always have the world in their mind because they travel from one country to another. So but modern schooling is very important. So because they're from the village, they want to have the reform of the school, and also they want to have libraries and want to have newspapers. So the overseas Chinese return to their hometown to build a school, and then a library, and then newspaper. Every clan would do that. So this is very, very important. So this is Sunway Zhonghua. It was the first modern middle school in Selia area. This is the second. This one was built in 1909 by Toy San, overseas Chinese people. So you see, it's huge. Premier Zhou Enlai came to Toy San and said, wow, very surprised to see that, wow, there's a middle school like this big. It's like a university. So, but Toy San people said, we wanted to build the biggest middle school in China. So that's Toy San #1 middle school. I hope if you go to Seiyang, you go visit them. So this is 10 years later, in 1909, the Kaiping people built their own school. So because the leader was educated, so his slogan is more than a school. From a single corner of Kaiping, a single black gate of Kaiping Kaiqiao Middle School, to turn the dignity of the nation. So that's their hope, that's their mission. So this is the design of the Kaichong, the Overseas Chinese Middle School. That's the school medal. So you can see the design of the school. You see the globe, and you see the sun, the rising sun, and also the ships. That's their hope. Many people would say, oh, they're engaged in very minor jobs here. They have no respect, in the community here. But there's a saying in China, 大丈夫能屈能伸. I don't know how to translate. Anyone? Which means, we can, in a very difficult situation, we can stand. So this is their hope. They always have their hope. So this is the Kaiping #1 Middle School. Today we have the Kaiping #1 Middle School alumni help. So this is our Kaiping #1 Middle School in 1945. So two clans, the Sito and Huan clan, helped build this. So you see, if they did not have that kind of big dream, how come you can do a middle school like that big? Because all of them, were they're not business people. They did not earn much money. So this is my school. It's a primary school. It's a ham, low ham. So I really, thankful to those people, who built this for us. So this is a school in Zhongshan. So it's everywhere, not just in Siam, everywhere. This is Zhongshan, and this is the Sito Library. They built the school, they built the library. This is Quan Library and Fong Library. There are 17 libraries in Kaiping. And this is the library in Sanwoi, the biggest one. They even operated a bus to help people from different directions come here to use the library. This is the library in Yampeng. So this is a family school in the Yi school. So a school is we call 4-in-1 model. It's a 4-in-1 model. It's a central hall. It's a school. It's a clan library and also a gazette office. They have their newspaper. So this is the inside of the Z clan, because they have lots of people. So if you go to San Francisco to the Yi clan, their building is huge. So they donated money in 1906 to build this school and library. That's the library building. And those are their newspaper. And they also have other, office for the village area. So it's a self-governed system. Built. They have so many, publications for their clan people to follow. So this is actually not, going home to build a building. It's to build a society. Okay, for the commercial development. So usually, because you all know that our older generation, they could not make very big money. So their way is to work together. All brothers, work together. So they use the share system to do their commercial business. So Uh, they use a commercial train, the way this is the model. This train is, for example, in Chinatown, and then to Hong Kong, and then to the home village. So it's an extra train. And then partnership. So partnership is the clan-based partnership because you know your clan people, you know them. So partnership mode. This is a very so this is one of the this is Chet-hum. So they come back to build business shop houses in many places. Toisan has the most market town like this, more than 100. So this is one of those. So and then they come to build, of course, they build their home. You see the home, the gate. This is the entrance. So you see the group. So the two lions playing with the group. Lions are Chinese. Now Chinese people are playing with, the group. So that's their pride. As overseas Chinese, we travel, all over the world. The world is under our feet. So that's how they come back to build the village area, and this is the Jie, and so they learn from Western town planning ideas, to help build plan their village. And so I just want to show you that, how many they build in Selia. 200,000. 200,000 buildings were built, in this area. So you see how, the overseas Chinese people, even though they earn very little here, they're laundrymen, they do very humble things, but they still manage to collect the money, to save the money, to send home to build houses like this. Okay, so there are people who want to do business, there are people who do their homes, and there are people who are interested in politics, in building a stronger and more democratic nation. So this is Selia Tan from Kaiping. So he's the first person who focused on aviation in China. So the history of Chinese modern aviation is from him. So he's the first person who drew this, and he got #1 prize. The first prize in UK. But the Qing government did not like his design, so he said, "Oh, we need to reform." Reform. So that's what. Many people, all these people came back from overseas to support the Dr. Sun Yat-sen's reform. And these people, as I said just now, did aviation. So aviation at that time was new. So this is Feng Zhou guy. So he's the first Chinese who built aeroplane. So, and besides him, there are other people like this Tan. So he got the first prize in the seaplane contest. So he suggested, met Sun Yat-sen, he suggested, "Oh, we are going to have this. We really want to, promote our aviation." And then Sun Yat-sen, promoted this slogan, "Aviation to save the nation." So the whole China at that time, especially in southern China, and also the overseas communities, people were very, very eager to learn, to be a pilot, to buy airplanes and brought back to China to join the Guangdong Air Force. So it's really the overseas Chinese who helped build, the modern China. So and also like this, we all know that, our overseas Chinese people contributed to donated money to support the Chinese to the Chinese army. So I just want to emphasize that 3/4 of the funds allocated for the war of resistance against Japan is from overseas. Is from overseas. 3/4 of the funds, is from overseas. This is huge. Which means without the overseas Chinese support, our war would not be like that. Okay, this is transport development. So they use this kind of sheer stocks, you are not, as a person, as an individual, you are not very wealthy, but if you work together, all the clan people work together, then you'll be very powerful. So they do this kind of, this is freeway. We call highway construction first. So this is map of Kaiping, the highway construction of Kaiping in 1937. 1937, the whole county is full of, is covered by the transportation, the bus transportation network. They even go to Guangzhou. This is Guangzhou. They even went to Guangzhou to start the bus line in Guangzhou. So, of course, Toisan, Qin Ji, he studied the railroad, the standing railroad. And because we saw many, aeroplanes, right? So their dream, the overseas Chinese dream, was to build aeroplanes in their hometown. So in 1949, their dream was fulfilled. So they built an aeroplane in Kaiping. And so you see the seaplane, and so they finished everything that they want to do at that time. For example, like this, we all know that this is our tradition to dig their bones, repatriate to their hometown. So, and here in China, in Kaiping, you see this is the building that they built to welcome the spirits from overseas. So we have rituals, to welcome, like my great-grandfather, he died in Hong Kong. So he returned from Canada, but died in Hong Kong. So we went to a place like that. But this was built in 1980s, so it's much better. So this is the place built in 1881 to host the bones shipped back from overseas. This is from Toisan. And this is the public cemetery, for those, because the bones were shipped back to the hometown area, and your family at home would come to this house to pick up the bones. But some family, they just don't come. So many bones, remain here. So that's why, they need a place to do like this, to bury all the bones. So this we call yitong. Okay, so we talk about Chinatown, we talk about, the homeland area. So now you come to this roots heritage collection. When I was doing this PPT, I look at the website of Stanford University. That the young guy, Michael Sorowier, So it was me who helped him to go to China to trace his great-great-great-grandfather's place, village. So this is the interview, this is what he told us. I was grateful to visit the ancestral village in China and that the knowledge of the family's history and the contributions of the Chinese immigrants like Lim Lip Hong. Lim Lip Hong is his great-great-great-grandfather. To know that we've been doing a lot of work for the United States makes me feel very much American and deserving the title. So I think I really agree what he said. So here, what are the roots, heritage and connections that I referred to? So you go to China to visit the ancestral village, that's your roots, right? Your heritage, your family history is your heritage. And the way that when you go there, that's your connection. So when you go to Chinatown, many Chinatown associations, you see an altar like this. Altar, who's there? That's the ancestors. Because you feel that you have connections with your ancestors. You see, every association buildings will have this altar. Like this is a temple. We used to have so many temples. And even though you are praying the Cantonese opera, so all this actually, if you want to understand why the altars why our forefathers set up the altar on the association building. So you need to know that. So that's what we understand, that's the roots of culture. Roots of culture and roots of kinship. So for the World Cultural Heritage standard, we have this. The overseas Chinese people return to China to build houses like this. On one hand, it's because of the banditry, but the most reason is not because of the bandits. It's because they like to do it this way. So that's my PhD thesis. I spent years to trying to figure out why in this style. Why in this style? If you just want to build a building for defense, no need to be in this style, right? So this is right now it's a World Cultural Heritage Site. And see the original one, that one is 500 years old. So that one is 500 years old. So right now it's 500, almost. And we have this Memory of the World Register. These are the letters sent from overseas to the hometown. So here in our Guangdong area, we call Nanshan. It's a money letter. So all this, we have 140,000, in our archives of this. So we are going to publish. It's going to be more than 100 columns. So actually, like this, we call this heritage, because it's from long time ago, So actually, these two world heritages are one and the same. They are all from overseas Chinese. So from this, the architecture and also the letters, you can understand, why it's like this. why they are trying to do it this way. It is the way that they want to save their dignity. So they are these people, they are very humble people. They went to dig gold. They work on the railroads. But some of them, like this, this is the only railroad workers that we can recognize, from the historical photos. That's him, Lim Lip Hong. Lim Lip Hong, and then he's so clever. He came when he's 12 years old, so he learned English. He can manage to have money, and this is the great grandson, So in order to help people understand more about our heritage, so we do this Guangdong project. I started the Guangdong project in 2009 for heritage education and also for researching and also for architectural conservation. So this is because it's a living heritage. So for example, like those who have been to China in the researching trip, you can understand, this is a 700-year-old village, so that you can come here to experience authentic local life. And this is the Irene Long's grandfather's place. So this is an ancestral hall. So this ancestral hall, we want to use it as an experimental base for an ancestral culture. So for Guangdong, because it's big, so you see we have many buildings, village buildings. We have, the whole area is our project. So you come here to do the farming. You come here to do the Chinese herbs, and also the history and the architecture. So these are the life, very local, authentic life, so that you can understand or you can experience the way that your ancestors lived before. So we restore, houses. We help restore houses and make it into like guest house or exhibition. So this is this one is almost 300 years old. So we want to keep this mood. And this is an ancestral hall. And this is a temple. So we restore more than 20 buildings in this house, in this village, and this is our museum. And these are the people because we work with the local people, the community. So we hope that the community can be benefited, and when we go there, you can experience that that's real culture, real culture, real village life. These are hot pot rice and our wood cake, all done by ourselves. You can cook, a lot of cultural experience, and so many. So line dance is very important. I know that everybody has seen line dance, but you might not know that line dance is actually from the countryside, not from the city. It's from our beliefs, its beliefs. So right now, when you are in the city, when you open a store, you open a new business, you invite the line dance come here to get rid of the bad spirits. But that's not, with different people from different countries, the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, from many countries. So I want to show you a little bit about Irene's Blue Tile Heritage Center. You see the blue tiles? This is the only blue tile ancestral hall in China. So it has very high architectural value. So, and also in this building, you can find all different types of architectural decorations in Linnan area. So it's very broken. For many people who think, wow, it's very difficult, but because I am a conservationist, I like this broken ones, yeah, because it's and people just don't want it because it's too broken. Then it's my turn, If it's too beautiful, it will not be my turn. See, it's like this before. Wow, to see the banyan trees, the roof. So this is after restoration. So we restore, we follow the UNESCO guidelines to do it, to do the architectural conservation. How to use this building when we finish? So of course the family is the most. So family, the descendants who come back, to pay respect for their ancestors, and to meet their relatives at home. I think this is the utmost, function of the ancestral hall. And we use it as the lecture hall. So this is a public lecture area, and also we have two air-conditioned two rooms because the hall is too big. We cannot install air conditioning. Oh, Michael, I think you're here, right? Somewhere here. So yeah, so we use this place, to welcome those root searching people, because in here you can understand how an ancestral hall works. When you go to your village, you might not have a complete, ancestral hall like this, but it used to be like this, So. And we have community activities, for children and for students from different ages. And we welcome students from other countries. We work with UBC. It's our very good friend. And also we work with, because we need to make money to sustain the project. So we also work with big companies, to build, to offer service, this kind of cultural experience service. So we have different kind of workshops. And are you familiar with this? The Cantonese opera. So it's also started from our area. So it's very popular in the local area, and line dance in guqin. So guqin is it's more than a musical instrument. It contains the most Chinese philosophy in this guqin. So, and then we use this, we do traditional art marketplace for root searching people. So this very, very funny, she's from Canada. She bought a lot of things. I asked her, why you're interested in this? Oh, she said, yes, this is Christmas shopping. Yeah. So maybe, because you use Canada money, you use American money, it's big. So you would think, it's very cheap to buy. Now this is one family. This is only one family. A bus from one family come back and do the experience here. And also we have academic cooperations with other schools, and also we have international student internship. You know, she's from San Francisco. Right now she was in San Francisco. So she spent a month and a half in Guangdong. You know, she just followed what happened in the village. And she said, the experience in the village really helped change, her mind. Her major is art history. She said, art history, I need to go to Paris. And her mom said, oh, if you want to go to France, I will not support your airfare. If you go to China, I can support you. Then that's why she found us, and then she come to us. So this lady, she's from Canada, and she said, every time when she talked to people, and her last name is Der, D-E-R, D-O-R-D-I-R, it's Der. And people would say, oh, are you Chinese? And she said she hates that because it means, they look at you, differently. So she said, I hate being Chinese. So, but she spent 15 days in the village, because this is their village. So he got to know the history, got to know the culture in the village, and she suddenly found that she's so proud of the rich family, the rich history and culture of the root place. So this is our education. We hope, we organize different kinds of programs for people from different age. So this is what we were awarded. This is the UNESCO Asia Pacific Award that we got for architectural conservation. And because we also do education, heritage education. So this is 2021, sorry. This is 2021, we got the World Cultural Heritage Education Award. And also for the particular building of the blue tile in Central Hall, we got this Hong Kong Icon Award. So I really like this picture. It's in front of Irene's grandfather's house, the ancestral hall. You see all this community people, and the Lam. This is the character of Lam. So you see, this is the community. Why we do this kind of architectural conservation or heritage conservation, this is our purpose. We want to do a sustainable community. Sustainable means we can keep the chance of our future generations to experience what we can have today. Okay, so this is the end of my presentation. Thank you.